Hello and welcome to a new series where I finally get around to playing games that have sat unloved and untouched on my personal pile of shame. The first game to be plucked from the pile is the 2017 open-world RPG Horizon Zero Dawn. Of course, I know of the game, but I've never actually played it until now. Before we get into why that is, let me just remind you that if you end up enjoying this video, please do consider subscribing to the channel. Every single one of you really does make a difference and it helps the channel to grow. So this isn't supposed to be a full-on, heavily edited and scripted review, it's just about me playing some stuff that I didn't get to play the first time around and giving some thoughts on it. I mean, who knows, perhaps you'll see something in one of these videos that you yourself have never played and you decide to pick it up. That'd be pretty cool. So, as I said, this is Horizon Zero Dawn, and it's specifically the Complete Edition, which includes the Frozen Wilds expansion and all DLC content, updates and patches. I'm playing it via backwards compatibility on the PS5, and that's notable because this game recently received a 60 FPS patch on the PS5, which is quite a nice addition indeed. The game was originally released on the PS4 in 2017, and then on PC in 2020. It's also a first-party Sony game, published by Sony and developed by Guerrilla Games. Horizon Zero Dawn is a third-person, open-world action RPG set far into the future. A future where life as we all know it has ended and humans live a tribal existence alongside machines. These machines seem to take the form of animals and even behave like them, but there is of course much more to the story than that. As usual, I won't be spoiling anything or showing any gameplay from past maybe the first hour or so, but the narrative definitely has a lot of mystery and truths to uncover. You play as Aloy, an outcast of the tribes who goes out into the world to uncover her past and unearth the truth of what happened to the old world. As you play through the game, you'll be leveling up via XP and you'll have access to a skill tree in order to improve Aloy's abilities, as well as a whole host of ranged weapons such as a bow, outfits, traps and items to help you take down your robotic enemies. You'll also have a spear which you can use for melee attacks, or you can use stealth to hide from the machines and take them down silently. There is, as you might expect, a long main quest, punctuated by optional side quests dotted about the map. These quests will reward you with XP and crafting materials. You can of course find a lot of the crafting materials out in the wild as well, but either way they allow you to make various items including arrows, health items and outfits. You can also break down or sell any items you don't want, which will give you the game's standard currency, which is metal shards. There are of course numerous other small things you can do in the game, such as hack certain enemies and turn them into mounts, or climb up on these huge dinosaur-like machines called tallnecks and then hack them to uncover points of interest in the surrounding area. However, I think that covers most of the basics, and considering the age of the game and also in the interest of time, let's move on to my personal opinions and thoughts on what I've experienced so far. So I would say that I am around maybe 6 hours into the game. I've done the tutorial stuff as well as a few main missions and some side quests and a bit of exploration. I've done a decent amount of combat and crafting, and unless the game suddenly turns into some sort of Mario Kart style racing game further into it, I think I have a pretty good idea of what it has to offer me. The world itself and the setting is of such a high quality, and the fact that this is a PS4 game just goes to show the kind of stuff that talented computer artists can produce. It's a real showcase of incredible skill and care. Exploring this world and seeing some of the ruins of the civilization that is essentially us right now is just really interesting to me, and I'm really intrigued as to what happened, why it happened, and how it happened. The fact that I really want to know all of this is definitely helping to keep my attention. It's just an absolutely beautiful open world, and I've played a lot of open world games in my time, things like Ghost of Tsushima and the Assassin's Creed games. Assassin's Creed Odyssey was absolutely incredible to look at, and this game is honestly no slouch either. On the other hand though, I am finding it a bit difficult to care about the tribal stuff. That probably sounds a little bit harsh, but it's just, I don't know, the old world ruins and what came before, as well as how it all ended, is just far more enticing to me, and I really haven't found any of the tribal stuff that engaging. I know it's all connected and yeah, it actually makes perfect sense in the game world, but it just isn't really clicking with me. I'm just not finding it that interesting, I guess. I will say though, it's not that it's written badly or voice acted poorly or anything like that, quite the opposite actually. But a lot of the time when the tribal sections are happening, I just kind of start to lose interest and zone out a little bit. Definitely a me problem and not the game's fault at all. But when a cutscene regarding the tribe stuff is playing, I'm just kind of like, yeah, that's nice, but can I go exploring the ruins and kill robots now, please? please, you know? And speaking of killing robots, I'm finding the combat to be very fun indeed. They could have just made it that you just, shoot the enemies with a bow and that's it. But no, they added the weak spots and the ability to strip their armor away, as well as use traps, and stealth is also viable. They gave you a lot of ways to play and a lot of approaches you could take, and each one seems to work just as well as the others, which allows you to play how you want. I tend to personally start an encounter with stealth, but once I'm discovered, I just kind of go all out, dodging attacks, firing my bow whenever I can, and using the ability to slow down time as you aim is really satisfying. In regards to Aloy herself, I've found her to be a fine character. I mean, I haven't really connected with her too much yet, but she's pretty cool, I guess. She's well voiced, and I do like the ability to make choices when talking to certain characters. I don't know if they really change anything that happens in the game besides, the voice lines that you receive back, but it's a nice addition either way. I just thought it'd be really cool if those choices led to certain characters doing certain things, or perhaps some die while others live, but I don't think it's really meant to be that deep of a system, and that's fine. Also, I think the designs of the machines that you fight are probably one of the highlights of the game, both in the way they look and in the fights that you have with them. I just love the fact that they have different weak spots to look out for and varying behaviors. It helps them to feel kind of real and believable instead of just a 3D model that you shoot to score points, if that makes any sense. They actually feel kind of alive, and obviously I know they're robots in the story, but they act in such a believable way that it really helps just to sell what's going on, And so I think that's probably about it for my initial thoughts and impressions. I'm honestly having a really good time with it so far, and I mean, I didn't expect it to be bad or anything. It's a widely loved and praised video game by many people across the world, but then again, so is Breath of the Wild, and as I've said before, I really don't care for that game at all. My point is though, you never really know if a game's going to click with you until you try it, and after 4 years I've finally gotten around to playing it, and luckily I'm pretty into it. In terms of open world action RPGs, I've played a lot of them as I said, and I think I like Ghost of Tsushima a bit better than this right now, but don't get me wrong, Horizon is brilliant so far, and with the sequel Forbidden West coming out in early 2022, I just had to make time for this game, and as they say, better late than never. So there you go, that was my thoughts and opinions on Horizon Zero Dawn after waiting 4 years to play it. I imagine a lot of you out there have already played this by now, so please do let me know what you think of it in the comments section down below. In fact, I'm happy to listen to any suggestions you might have for other games to add to my pile of shame, and maybe, just maybe, I'll get around to playing them one day. If you enjoyed the video or found it useful, I hope today will be the day that I earn your subscription, and if you want to support the channel even further, all the important links are in the video description down below. But with all that said, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.